Once upon a time,
I wish
in a far-off kingdom,
more than anything,
lived a young
more
maiden,
than life,
a sad young lad,
more than jewels.
and a childless baker. With his wife,
He's giving a festival.
More than life,
I wish to go to the festival.
more than riches. I wish my cow would give us his milk.
More than anything.
I wish we had a child. Please tell.
To go to the festival.
I wish we might have a child. I wish.
You wish to go to the festival?
the poor girl's mother had died.
You Cinderella the festival? You wish to go to the festival? The King's festival?
And her father had taken for his new wife
The festival?
a woman with 2 daughters of her own.
Darling nails.
The way you dress, people will laugh at you. You still wish to go to the festival and dance before the prince? Ha, 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 ha.
All 3 were beautiful of face, but vile and black of heart. Jack, on the other hand, had no father, and his mother,
I wish,
well, she was not quite beautiful.
I wish my son were not a fool. I wish my house were not a mess. I wish the cow was full of milk. I wish the walls were full of gold. I wish a lot of things. You foolish child, what in heaven's name are you doing with the cow inside the house?
I thought a warm environment might be just what Milky Way needs to produce his milk.
It's a she. How many times do they tell you only she's can give milk?
Why, come in, little girl. I wish. It's not for me, it's for my granny in the woods. A loaf of bread, please. To bring my poor old hungry granny in the woods. Just a loaf of bread, please.
Cinderella's stepmother had a surprise for her.
I've emptied a pot of lentils into the ashes. If you can pick them out in 2 hours' time, you may go to the ball with us. And perhaps a sticky bun or 4.
Birds in the sky, birds in the eaves and the leaves and the fields and the castles and ponds.
And a few of those
Little birds,
pies.
down in the eaves and the leaves and the fields and the castles and ponds.
No squeeze
Quick little birds, flick through the ashes, pick and peck but swiftly sift the ashes into the pot.
Now, Jack, you were to leave Milky White to the market.
But no, Milky White's the best cow in the whole world.
Was she's been tried for a week. We have no money and no food and no choice but to sell her while she can still command a price.
Milky White's my best friend.
Look at her. There are bugs on her ducks. There are flies in her eyes. There's a lump on her rump, big enough to be a hump.
What?
Son, we've no time to sit and dither while her withers wither with her. And no one keeps a cow for a friend. Oh, hun, sometimes I fear you're
Into
touched.
the woods, it's time to go. I hate to leave, I have to go. Into the woods, it's time, and so I must begin my journey. Into the woods and through the trees to where I am expected, ma'am. Into the woods to grandmother's house. Into the woods to grandmother's house.
You're certain of your way?
The way is clear, the light is good. I have no fear, nor no one should. The woods are just trees, the trees are just wood. I sort of hate to ask it, but do you have a basket?
Don't stray and be late.
And save some of those sweets for Granny. Into the woods and down the dell, the path is straight, I know it well. Into the woods and who can tell what's waiting on the journey. Into the woods to bring some bread to Granny who is sick in bed. Never can tell what lies ahead, for all that I know she's already dead. But into the woods, into the woods, into the woods, and out of the woods and home before dark.
Fly birds, back to the sky, back to the eaves and the leaves and the fields and the...
Hurry up and do my hair, Cinderella, are you really wearing that? Here I brought a little tear, Cinderella, can't you hide it with the hat?
You always said be nice, that was always their advice. So be nice, Cinderella, kind Cinderella, nice, good, good, nice. What's the point in being good if everyone is blind and you're always left behind? Never mind, Cinderella, kind Cinderella, nice, good, good, kind, good, nice. Ah!
Not that tight.
Sorry, Claude.
Because the baker's father and mother had died in a baking accident, well, at least that's what he thought, he was eager to have a family of his own, and was concerned when all efforts until now had failed. Who might that be?
We have sold our last loaf of bread.
It's the witch from next door.
We have no bread.
Of course you have no bread.
Then what is it you wish?
It's not what I wish, it's what you wish. Nothing cooking in there now, is there?
The old enchantress went on to tell the couple how she placed a spell on their house. What spell?
In the past, when you were no more than a babe, your father brought his young wife and you to this cottage. They were a handsome couple, but not handsome neighbors. You see, your mother was with child, and she developed an unusual appetite. She took one look at my beautiful garden and told your father that what she wanted more than anything in the world was greens, greens, and nothing but greens. Parsley, peppers, cabbages, and celery, asparagus, and watercress, and fiddlefirts, and lettuce. He said, all right, but it wasn't quite, because I caught him in the autumn in my garden one night. He was robbing me, raping me, rooting through my rutabaga, raiding my arugula, and ripping up the rampion, my champion, my favorite, and I should have laid a spell on him right there. Could have turned him into stone, or a dog, or a chair. But I let him have the rampion and lots to spare. In return, however, I said fair is fair. You can let me have the baby that your wife will bear. I won't call it square.
I had a brother.
No, but you had a sister.
The witch refused to tell him any more of his sister, not even that her name was Rapunzel. She went on.
I thought I had been more than reasonable, that we could all live happily ever after. But how was I to know what your father had also hidden in his pocket? You see, when I had inherited that garden, my mother had warned me that I would be punished if I were ever to lose any of the beans.
Beans?
The special beans! I let him go, I didn't know he'd stolen my beans. I was watching him crawl back over the wall, and then bang, crash, the lightning flash. Well, that's another story, never mind. Anyway, unless a big day came, I made my claim. Oh, don't take away the baby, they shrieked and screeched, but I did, and I hit her, well, she'll never be reached. Your father cried, and your mother died, and for extra measure, I admit it was a pleasure. I said, sorry, I'm still not mollified, and I laid a little spell on them. You too, son. Oh, that your family tree would always be a barren one. So there's no more fuss and there's no more seeds, and my garden thrives. You should see my nectarines, but I'm telling you the same I tell kings and queens. Don't ever, ever, ever mess around with my greens, especially the beans.
Now listen well, Jack. You are to lead Milky White to the market and command the best price you can. Take no less than £5. Are you listening to me?
Yes.
How much are you to ask?
No more than £5.
Less than 5. Jack, 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 head in my stack. House is getting colder. This is not a time for dreaming. Chimney stack, starting to crack. The mice are getting older. The floor's gone slack. Your mother's getting older. Your father's not back. And you can't just sit here dreaming pretty dreams. To wish and wait from day to day will never keep the wolves away. So, into the woods, the time is now. We have to live, I don't care how. Into the woods to sell the cow, you must begin the journey. Into the woods without delay, we have to face the marketplace. Into the woods till journey's end.
Into the woods to sell a friend.
Someday you'll have a real pet, Jack.
A piggy?
Meanwhile, the witch, for purposes of her own, told the baker how he might lift the spell.
You wish to have the curse reversed? I'll need a certain potion first. Go to the wood and bring me back 1. The cow as white as milk. 2. The cape as red as blood. 3, the hair as yellow as corn. 4, the slipper as pure as gold. Bring me these by the chime of midnight in 3 days' time, and you shall have, I guarantee, a child as perfect as child can be. Go to the wood.
Ladies, our carriage waits. Now may I go to the festival?
The festival! Darling of snails, darling of clothes, lentils are one thing, but darling with those, you make us the fool of the festival, and mortify the prince.
Our carriage is waiting.
We must be gone.
Good night, Father. I wish.
Look what I found in Father's hunting jacket.
6 beads.
I wonder if they're
The
the...
witch's beads? We'll take them with us.
Oh, no, you are not to come with me.
I know you are fearful of the woods at night.
The spell is on my house. Only I can lift the spell. The
No,
spell
no,
is
the
on
spell's
my
on
house.
our house.
We're not to
We
come
must
in. That
lift
is
the spell
final.
together. The spell's on
What am
our
I to do
house.
with me?
You don't remember? The cow is white as milk, the cape is red as blood, the hair is yellow as corn, the slipper as pure as gold.
Cow as white as milk, the case so the baker reluctantly set off to meet the enchantress's demands. As for Cinderella,
I still wish to go to the
cow as
festival.
white as milk.
But how am I ever to get to the festival? I know all these and mothers grieve, the queen of the tree. Tell her I just want to go to the king's festival. Into the woods,
It's time to go. It may be all in vain, I know. Into the woods, but even so, I have to take the journey. Into the woods, the path is straight. I know it well, but who can tell? Into the woods to live the spell.
into the woods to visit mother.
To make the potion. Into the woods without regret. The choice is made, the task is set. Into the woods, but not forgetting why I'm on the journey. Into the woods to get my wish. I don't care how the time is now.
Into the woods with the cow, to live the spell.
To make the potion.
Go to the festival.
Into the woods to grandmother's house. Into the woods to grandmother's house.
The way is clear, the light is good. I have no fear, nor no one should. The woods are just trees, the trees are just woods. No need to be afraid there. There's something in the glade there.
Into the woods without delay, but careful not to lose the way. Into the woods, who knows what may be lurking on the journey. Into the woods to get the thing that makes it worth the journeying. Into the woods to see the king, to sell the cow, to live the potion, to see, to sell, to get, to bring, to make, to live, to go to the festival. Into the woods, into the woods, into the woods and out of the woods. And home before dark.